guys, welcome to Debbie's Rusty Brush. This week we're doing a trash to treasure. Most of this I did not film when I turned it from one thing to the other. I just filmed a before and an after so that you can see what the object started its life as and where it ended up after I did my flip to it. So I will go through and tell you how I went about doing these different flips and what went into it. I did 4 different boxes, and each one I did with a different process. And one of or all of these processes are available for you guys to try to do or come up with your own. Some of these are more detail oriented than others, and so they're harder to do, but with a little bit of perseverance, you can get it done. All right, so come along with me and we'll get going. Um, Box that was for little girls. The inside is pink. The outside was very dated when I got it. Nothing really special, made in China, and I found it in a thrift store. It was just sitting there and I could see potential in it. So I brought it home and I turned it into this cute unicorn box. And what I did to do this was I just put a couple of base coats of paint on the entire thing. I did tape off the lips and edges so that I didn't get it inside where I didn't want it. And so I did not take this apart. I just put a coat of paint on it. Then I went ahead and distressed it back so that some of that pink would show through here and there. But I wanted to be very careful when I did this. I didn't want any of the images that were previously on it to show. So then what I did was I took a stencil that had cursive writing on it and I just stenciled certain areas in pink to draw that pink out of the inside of the box and our distressed areas throughout the rest of it. And then I took an image that I simply printed off of Google Images. I did silhouettes. And I did a silhouette of a unicorn. And what I did with that is I took carbon paper, and that is just the graphite paper that you can trace with. And I took that and I took an image. This is not the image. I did a unicorn and I don't have it any longer. But I took an image like this, I traced it, and then when you go to paint it, you're just basically coloring using paint. So you pick out your colors, you paint the image on, and then you seal it. And I did seal it first with a matte finish spray paint, and then I sealed it with wax. I really like using wax. And so this is how. Okay, and then the next box I did, it is a little bit higher complication level than the first one, because this one I did hand paint a deer on the front of it. But I did take my regular just chalk paints and I made this white enamel box, Trinket box, look like it was barnwood. And so I did this. And I simply drew an image of a deer on there, and then I painted it from there. And so that one is for probably the more advanced artists as far as putting the deer on, but you can use any of the other processes that I tell you on this box as well and not have to hand paint it. So here this one is a before of what it started its life as and what it looks like now. Was a cute little jewelry box. It was cherry wood, and it had seen better days. It had some nicks and some scratches in it, and I just wanted to give it an update. I think I got it at Goodwill for $3.99. And so what I did with that was I painted it, and then I added a transfer to it. Now these are rub-on transfers that you can get for furniture. Now, like I said, this is a part of a video for my YouTube channel where I'm gonna show what you can do with boxes that you find at used places. And so I went ahead and painted these before Watch Me Wednesday, and now I'm just going to place my transfer and just rub. So these end up with it's a little wood or plastic scraper, and you just run it along that image until it releases onto the box that you're working on. So let's take a quick look at the before and the after of this box. Alrighty, and then the fourth box that I did is just a trinket box. It's plain on the inside. There's no felt. There's nothing. In fact, I've got it sitting here, and it has just wood on the inside. It's nice wood, but it is definitely just a trinket box, just folds up. So what I did with it was I painted it, and then I decoupaged onto it. Now you can buy decoupage paper that is really thin and works much better. What I did was I just found an image that I liked. I printed it off. Now when you do this, you want to make sure, one, there is no watermark on it and there is no signature on it, because you don't want to run into any copyright infringement issues with this. And so I just printed off on regular printer paper. This is not the image that I put on this box, but as you can see, there is no watermark on it, and there is no signature on it. And so I just thought this was pretty, and it has a lot of pretty colors. So what I do from that point on, because I do make sure that I don't get images like, say, Batman or Captain America, any of those. Those are a franchise. They are copyrighted. You do not want to do those images at all. And to start by taking some cherry picked. And up here in the corner, it's got like this burgundy color that comes down into this kind of cowgirl coral color, and it's kind of like clouds and sky. So we're going to take our cherry picked, and we're going to take this corner up here and blend in some of this cherry picked and just bring it right down onto this paper to help bring this in. That kind of goes up here. So we're just gonna paint in here. All right, and then the rest of this over here on this side, rinse my brush, is kind of a bluish gray. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to go ahead and take blue iris, but I'm for the most part going to take this. Okay, so this is gray, and I didn't have gray, and I needed gray, so I took white and I took black and I made gray. So I can't really tell you what color this is, but it's probably close to letterpress gray if I had to venture a guess. And so I'm going to put the gray on here, and I'm going to dip in just a little bit of the blue iris, and we're going to bring that down over the paper here and kind of mix it in here with the cherry picked so that we get a cohesive look. A little more cherry pick than that. So we have kind of this stormy sky thing going on up here. And we're going to come down this side. And then what we're going to do, we're going to let that part dry. But this dragon that is there, he was cut off on this picture that we printed off of the internet. So once this dries, I'm going to attempt to kind of finish him off his body there so that he comes up into the box off of that paper. And so we just kind of want to make this picture look like it's actually part of this box. I show this one. I will show a before and after as well, just like the other ones, but I'm going to show this. So what I did was I decoupaged this on here. Now this picture only comes to here, 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 and here. So the serpent was actually cut off. You didn't see the full rounding up here. You didn't see the top of the tower. Down here where I finished his body off to the end of the box, there was nothing there. And there was people here in these rocks. And so I didn't want those people right there on the edge. So what I did was I took my paint, and after I decoupaged this on really well, I took my paint and I just completed the image. So I brought the serpent down. This particular fin here was not part of the serpent. I added that. I added the rest of his body up here, and he had just a little bit of some spiky hair here, and I carried that on over here. There was no moon, and I did add a moon to this, and I just painted out and blended. So in here is the actual photo that I copied. Out here, I blended paint in. So from the serpent out, even though the paper runs to right here, I blended paint through. Same on this side. I took and I blended it from here all the way out, even though the paper is here. And down below, I just kind of brought in areas. I elongated this gully. I painted in more rocks. I painted in more of the lava flow and the rocks here. So even though I printed this off of and decoupaged it onto this box, the image was not large enough for the box, and I wanted it to cover the entire thing. Also, because I changed the image and it was not watermarked and it was not signed, I feel pretty safe that this image has been changed enough. And even if it did, for some reason, have some kind of a copyright to it, this is not the image I printed off. I removed some things, I added other things. So really the only part of this image is the head of the serpent, this part of the body of the serpent, down through here and up and around through here. So that is the only part of this that is the original. The rest of it I have altered and played with and added to. And so that, because the image is there for you and you just kind of match colors and blend it in, because you don't want to see the edges of that paper, that is something that you can do because you've got the basis of what's there and you just take it from that point. But again, make sure that whatever you're printing off does not have a watermark, which if it does, it's hard to into them. So these are just some ideas of what you can do with different mediums, different processes, and just play. When you take something that's scratched, dented, dated, and you turn it into something new, it's fun. And you get to see what you can accomplish. And there are so many different methods to do this that there is a skill level for every single person to be able to go to the thrift store, find some kind of wood item like this, and to update it and to see what can be made of it. Now, I did not do any with molds, but there are molds out there that you can put paper clay in and acrylic resin in. There are molds called Would You Bend that you can get and heat up and put on there. So there are so many things that you can do that I did not do on these, that it's just so much fun to play with. So I encourage you guys to find what is out there that you can give new life to and keep this stuff out of the landfills. All right, if you like my videos, if you like the content that I put out, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel, if you would share it with your friends, hit that little bell so you get notified anytime I upload a video, and I appreciate you hanging out with me. All right, have a good week. Bye-bye.